Cody Rhodes has the crowd, the momentum, and the main event. But something about this street match with Cena just feels different. A street fight can get ugly in ways you don't expect. Cody might finally snap. Who knows? Well, at my bookie, see, this is what you bet on. You don't just bet on who wins. You bet on how it happens, the moment, the chaos. And with SummerSlam finally here, they're giving you every tool to hit. And you know we love to hit here in the Skewniverse, baby. Other books give you odds. My bookie gives you the edge. Daily bet boost, extra plays just for wagering, and unlimited cash when your friends sign up. Oh, yeah. If you didn't know, you can legit use your own referral code to claim unlimited bonuses. To get started, hit up mybookie.ag, use the promo code POA, and cash in with a bonus on your first deposit. Drop in $100, get $50 added for free. That's right, go bigger, and MyBookie throws in even more. SummerSlam was built for drama. MyBookie is built for getting paid. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Make it hit.
You know what I'm saying? Because fucking this lady, like, let a fucking guy do that shit. We got a fucking crime about to happen, but oh, you got yelled at, so now Trae's a fucking asshole. Get the out of here, man. Like, so many taken down because wouldn't shut the up. You know, like.
What's up, Airheads? We're back. It's time once again for Putting on Airs, coming from a different version of the virtual Airhead Airstream studios this week. Cho's had some minor technical kerfuffles down there. He lives in as y'all know, a 0 horse town. They shot the one horse a few years ago. Yeah, after he came out in support of Palestine. But anyway, so now they got no horses in their town, and you know that it makes it hard to have good internet. So yeah, I don't know. It rained, and then his internet went out, and we've had to resort to backup plans. He's at his sister's house,
who lives inarguably more in buttfuck Egypt than me. Yet her internet hits more. I'm in if the Bermuda Triangle, instead of just being a place that sucked sailors away like a siren from their ship, but was instead a place where nothing was allowed to hit, that's where I live. Is just in a place where for no reason, you're just not allowed to hit. You can't hit.
Mm-mm. No, the Lord hath decreed there will be no hitting there. Yeah, I mean, my hometown is like that too. You're wearing a combination there. You got that Texas hat on you've had for a while, but you're also wearing a Tennessee Titans shirt. That reminded me of something that it's not really related to this show, but it just happened to me the other day at the grocery store. A guy who was clearly Hispanic, like visibly a Hispanic man, but perfect English. So, you know,
wearing a Dodgers uniform. Is that how clearly Hispanic?
No, just like, just shortly brown feller with, he just looked a little Mexican.
Well,
but then
I only say that because if it's a brown guy, like every now and then someone can be brown and I could still be like, what type of brown are you? But if they, if they're like, go Raiders, I'm like,
well,
all right.
Sure. But I'm getting to another thing that he also, I mean, he could have also, to be fair, he could have been like, just from looking at him, maybe a little Indian-y, not too Indian, feather Indian-y, you never know. But,
they're the same. Why wouldn't they look the same? They're from
20 because those apart. Indians mixed with the Spanish and made Mexicans. And so, that's how. But anyway, this dude, I hated. There's a lot going on here because this guy was such a nice guy. I hated every single moment of this, but it's because of me. Started out in something that so I'm in the grocery store line with a car, and I always kind of marvel at people that are at the grocery store with just a couple of items or something.
Oh, dude.
I go once every 2 weeks or something because don't hit for me really. And then, so when I go, I always invariably have a completely full shopping cart of shit. Right.
Yeah. We're the opposite.
So I just don't, I get the appeal of being in and out quickly, but you have to go more often. And
I enjoy the going because my wife's a yapper. You know what I mean? So it's nice to. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. I don't go just to get away from my wife, but our grocery store is right behind my house, so I just treat it like a pantry. You know what I mean?
Do you walk?
No, you can take the golf cart though.
Okay, if I lived close enough to a grocery store to take a golf cart to it, then it might be different. It wouldn't bother me as much. I mean, I don't live far away at all. It's like a block over, but still. I
like walking more than you, though, too.
Yeah, but you just said you don't walk.
Right. I'm just saying you just genuinely don't enjoy insert whatever after that. It don't hit for you to do.
Right.
Yeah, which is fine. I respect that about you.
Yeah. I'm staying at the grocery store with a big cart full of stuff, as always I am, and a guy comes up behind. First, the lady in front of me also has a big cart full of stuff. So and I usually try to do that. Obviously, you can't go in the express lanes. I don't go through the self checkout. I think people that go into self checkout with a huge cart of shit are insane. But whatever,
assholes.
That's fine. Yeah, but so I don't do that. I go to the line that I feel like that looks to me like this is the line for those of us with many things. So we're all on the same page. We all know we're going to have to wait a little bit. We're not in a hurry.
We're here.
Right. And I make a conscientious effort to do that. So I pick that line out, get up there behind a lady with another huge cart full of shit. I got my huge cart full of shit. And then this dude walks up behind me holding a chicken, like a rotisserie chicken. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, there's self-checkout lines. There's express lanes for 10 items or less or whatever. They have those. They are open. He comes up, settles in right behind me. And I see him, and at first I was like, he must want something out of this cooler or something. Like, he's not.
Like, why would he be here?
Right, exactly. It's like, there are better options for this guy. He can't be serious about this line. But then I was like, he just stood there. And so now I start feeling like, fuck.
Gotta let it go.
Right. So again, hated every part of that.
Right. But you did because that's the right thing to do.
But once I realized, like, oh no, he's staying here. He's definitely he's chosen this line. I was like, is that all you got? He was like, yeah, just this. I was like, you want to go in front of me? You know, I got this whole cart. And he was like, yeah, sure. Oh, I really appreciate that. But the worst part was that once I did that, it started a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Oh God. And I'll remind you that.
Did you not have your headphones in?
I always go with one headphone in.
You got to go with two.
Listening to podcasts and stuff. But I did have that in. But anyway, I'll remind you, there's a woman in front of us with a huge cart of shit. So, like, I now am engaged in 5-minute, but felt like an eternity long conversation with this guy who could not have been more friendly or anything. He was like totally cool, very nice guy. And immediately he was like, where are you from? And I was like, well, I live here, but I'm from Tennessee. And he was like, yeah, I'm from Texas. He was like, I knew you were from somewhere because I can hear your accent. And I was like, yeah, I hear you. But anyway, it's like, I was thinking about it afterwards, and it's funny because it's like, I fully recognize that, like, I can both acknowledge, like, he was such a nice guy, I don't hold it against him at all, but also, God, what a nightmare that was.
For sure.
Like, because that's how.
Yeah, I don't have contempt for my fellow man. I have contempt for the society in which we must encounter one another.
Yeah, but I just don't. I'm just an introvert and stuff. Like, I just don't want to talk to people generally that I don't know. So,
which is why I go with two headphones.
There's that. I know. Well, okay, I'll come back to that in a minute because the reason I go with one is because I feel like two makes you look like an asshole anywhere but New York City.
Don't care. Don't care.
Like, I just feel like I don't know.
And you're right.
In New York, everyone knows that no one gives a fuck, and I will roll with two headphones when I'm in New York. But everywhere else, I just feel like it makes you look like a dick to have two headphones, especially in a small town. I don't think I would ever two headphone it in fucking Waynesboro.
I would rather look like a dick than engage in conversation and prove that I am one. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to think I'm a dick in either scenario, but there's one of them where I don't have to talk.
So anyway, all of this, the only other thing really of note that happened was, first of all, he asked what I do, and I told him, because I'm a terrible liar, and I don't want to. I know we've had this conversation before too, but like, I'm just always worried that I'll get caught in said lie. And you're always like, no one gives a fuck. You're like, just keep lying. So people know what we're talking about. Like, we'll be at like a bar or something, and Corey, bartender, will be like, "What are you guys doing there?" And we're there to do a comedy show, but neither of us want to say that. So Corey just be like, "Oh, we're for a conference." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool. What kind of conference?" Corey's like, "Just like a medical supply thing or whatever." And I'm sitting over there like,
make it boring enough to where there's not a follow up. You know,
and I'm over there like, on the edge of my seat, like, bro, what? He'll catch us soon or whatever. And then like, then what? Who gives a fuck? I know.
Also, no, he won't if you just keep lying.
I know, but anyway, so I don't like to tell people I'm a comedian, but I can't do that thing. So I end up just saying it.
Have you ever thought that maybe this is why you don't get callbacks in auditions?
Why?
Because you can't act.
Huh? Yeah. Well, now that's different.
Yeah. Well, it is lying.
Yeah. No, it ain't though. That's not true. No, it's
acting
not.
like you're a different thing is what I do. Great. Yeah, by the way, I don't get callbacks either.
No. It's a completely different. Well, I literally just got a callback today, just so you know. But
you won't get it.
I know, probably not. You're probably right. But it's a completely different context.
I know.
And that makes it different.
Yeah.
Like acting is pretending.
Yours is a moral thing.
Lying is not. It is pretending, but it's like the dirtier version of it.
Look, man, I would never lie if that lie was gonna hurt somebody, like committing fraud or whatever. I'd never do that. But like, I just know that if I say we're here for a comedy show, then me and you don't get to enjoy the bar, which is all we wanted to do, is enjoy the bar. So I'm sorry. Morally, I feel completely correct in doing so. I do. And now I'll tell you what, one way I found out that I do now, so it's not a lie, is I say I write for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, because that's true. But nobody cares. Nobody cares for follow-up questions on that. But if you say you're a comedian, oh my God, who have you met? Do you know this guy? I like this guy. But they hear you work for a paper and they're like, nah.
Right. But they also, if they're a comedian, they'll at least say what this guy ended up saying. What's your name? Can I find your stuff? Can I look you up? Right.
Yeah.
And every single time I leave that conversation going like, I really hope they were just being nice and don't actually do that.
Oh, they do.
I know. And I'm always like, when they do, it's going to reframe it. Because it's all, by the way, that's another part of this. I know I'm all over the place. But there were so many layers of this conversation, because that's another part of it is I'm pretty certain that this dude, again, he was from Texas. He had on one of those like military-ish shirts, like not full-blown thin blue line, but like it's got like a flag on one side and some crossed rifles or something.
It's Patriot Light.
Patriot Light, exactly. And he's from Texas. And the main thing I brought this up is because I'll just get to that now. He said to me at one point, I got in this whole thing because you have a Texas hat and a Tennessee shirt. His guy was from Texas, and I told him I was from Tennessee, and he said something. I was like, yeah, he said something about Tennessee first. I was like, yeah, we got taught a lot about Texas, like history and stuff in Tennessee, because a lot of Tennesseans went to Texas to help. And he was like, and he like cut me off. He was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Which is funny because most Texans that I meet when I'm in Texas and stuff and talk about this, they don't even know or care. And like, I even had a bit about it for a while when I would go to Texas. It's like that Mad Men meme where the whole, like, I don't think about you at all, where it's like, like Texans don't even know that Tennessee but in Tennessee, we're like, in Tennessee, you're basically taught there wouldn't be a Texas if not for Tennesseans, right? In Texas, people are like, what? Who are you again? But anyway, this guy immediately cut me off and was like very enthusiastic. He was like, oh yeah, no, absolutely. He's like, that's why you guys are the volunteer state. I know. He's like, you see all these people over there. And he's like, you guys came and helped us fight the Mexicans and get our independence from the Mexicans, or whatever. But his name was, I can't say his full name. His name was,
Guadalupe Lopez. Pretty much.
Except it was like, well, I was going to say the English version of the Spanish name, so I almost said it. So it'd be more like if it was George Lopez. But like it really, so I did not meet George Lopez, but his name was very much the equivalent of George Lopez, like anglicized first name, very, very Hispanic last name. And he looked Hispanic too. And he was like, no, you guys helped us fight off the damn Mexicans or whatever, which I just thought was funny. But it's like, but you know, that guy's not that dude's a Texan, right? And like that's his identity or whatever. So I just think that's interesting, but also all of those things together led me to believe, it's like, I'm pretty sure this dude is at least somewhat conservative. He also told me that he doesn't really like most new comedy because he misses the era of comedy before there had to be a, like, I don't remember how he put it, but he was like, all this, like, I think he used the word angst and like, probably, but he basically like, old school, just like Rodney Dangerfield. And I love those guys too. I know, but him saying all that just made me very certain.
Of course,
I will not hit for him.
I know plenty.
And he was like, I can't wait to look you up. And I'm just like cringing, like, buddy, please forget about that. Please don't do that. Because if you do that, it ain't gonna hit for you. It's gonna, like I said, reframe this entire interaction we've had.
But you don't have to worry about that because you won't be there for that part. But he's 100%,
and I'll never see him again.
But he's 100% gonna look you up because they want to know if they've just met a famous person, which they haven't at all. But like they want to, because like, dude, if I was at a bar and somebody told me like, I'm here, I'm on tour, I'm with a band or whatever, I would immediately look up their name to see if they were the bass player for fucking Molly Hatchet or what. Not Molly Hatchet, but you get what I'm saying. All my references are dated, but, it's funny because like that is such a tale for conservatives if they go, I miss when, and it's not always just stand up. It's like it could be movies, it could be whatever. And it's only because I know plenty of leftists or liberals that also miss certain things, but they don't really bitch about it because they know that time moves forward, not backwards. And also like most of them I know who are like, I just miss that stand and deliver type. They're smart enough to know that Dave Attell still exists, Sam Morril exists, Mark Norman exists. Like that style of comedy hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that back then everyone did that. And I don't understand personally, like, dude, I will have people comment, like people who clearly don't like me, but they follow me and they comment on everything, but they clearly don't like me. And they'll be like, why don't you do stand up like insert comedian they like? And I'm like, why don't you just watch that? You know what I mean? Like, why do you want me to be like someone who already exists when you can watch the thing that already exists? I don't get it, But dude, like, I mean, I wish there were more Rodney types around. I do like that. Like I enjoy that shit. But like, man, we live in a time now where like whatever you want, I feel like you can get it. And for some reason, conservatives, it seems to me that they really do have to have it spoon fed to them. They don't want to go out and like there ain't no good country music. I'm like, yeah, that comes on the radio that's already in your car. But if you wanted to investigate, I promise you, there's great shit out there. But they won't do it. Yeah, but don't the conservatives and like the radio country people like go hand in hand a lot of times, and there's a huge demographic overlap there? Yeah, that hits for them. Well, it's funny. Me and my dad were having, because the thing is, I feel like so much of everything is spoon fed to and for them. You know what I'm saying? That's true. Like radio country and like CBS's entire lineup and fucking the Taylor Sheridan verse and whatever. It's like so much stuff is made for like, middle American, traditional family value, middle American dumbasses. Oh, speaking of which, let me try this on you real quick because this will be a good test because the pressure's on. I have to play Billy Bob Thornton in a parody sketch. And obviously I can't do a perfect Billy Bob, but tell me if this is passable. Lady, do you know how much? Lady, do you know how long it'll take the goddamn windmills to actually offset the fucking carbon it takes to make them? Is that passable, decent? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. It's wild how when you like, I went like this. Yeah, but it's like you really like you highlight how, I don't know. That does sound, all the best impressions are kind of like caricatures of the person. Right. So it's like Dana Carvey. Like Dana Carvey is one of the GOATs of all time. If you the GOAT. If you really, I mean, to me, he is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. But if you watch a lot of his impressions and stuff, and he admits this himself, but he talks about it. But like they're
hilarious, but not super accurate.
Right.
It's like
he locks in on one thing.
He locks in on one thing and caricaturizes that, and it's the funniest part of that person or whatever, and it like works and it's hilarious, but it's not like a you know, he wouldn't win a fucking Oscar playing that person in a biopic.
Well, no, you can't do that. Like,
right.
That's why I think personally,
but you just doing that with Billy Bob, it's like that made him look really accentuate the country and the dumb or whatever.
Well, that's
Billy
what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's interesting. That's why I think that Winter Soldier, what's his name?
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. That's why I don't know if you saw the Trump movie that he did. First off, it's great. I really and I went into it actually thinking I didn't go into it wanting to dislike it, but I really don't care for that man, Donald Trump, too much. Hot take. But so I don't even want to see media, even if it's like putting him down, you know, like I just didn't want to. But he did such a good job at nailing Trump without it being Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live. But you know what I mean? Like it's like it wasn't an impression of him, but I've never seen somebody so subtly nail it, you know. But like, yeah, Carvey would have spent the whole movie just right here, you know, right. which is what you need to do when you're doing comedy. You mentioned when you're talking about the guy in the line. I actually had a social bugaboo that I wanted to bring to the table because there have been times when I've been in line and I've been the person that guy is with just the chicken, right?
Yeah.
And there's only because we don't have self-checkout. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We don't have that shit. And oftentimes there's only one line, right? Now, Now, my rule has always been if I'm in a hurry, I shouldn't be at the grocery store. So I'm never being like, could you please? But like, I'll have one chicken and I'll stand behind someone who not only do they have a grocery cart full of stuff and things hanging on the side, but I look and they've got coupons. So I know this about to take a minute, and I'm not begrudging anybody who does that, dude. However you can afford to live in this miserable world, do it. I've been trying to convince Amber to get into coupons. She's into every other thing that's bullshit that don't hit. So why not that one that would hit? Anyways, and I'll sit there and they'll see me and I'll see them see that I have one chicken and they'll just turn around and I'm like, really? Like, I know, listen, you're not by law required to let me go, but really? Are you fucking kidding me? And another one that this happened today, this is a public service announcement for everybody out there that drives. If you come to a 4-way stop or a 2-way stop, whatever, and you both tie when you get there, whoever is the first person to do this, you go. Mm-hmm. Don't give me the whole, no, you. No. Don't do that because now I'll go, no, you. And now we're both confused. And
what if you both kind of do that at the same time? Well, that can happen.
That can happen. And that's whatever. But if you clearly give this first and then they acknowledge that you did it and they're like, no, also, you go first.
By the way, I remember being taught when I learned how to drive, and I've always thought it seems like people don't know this. When you pull up simultaneously at a 4-way stop, if you're across from each other, fucking all bets are off. You do the wave thing or whatever. But like if you're perpendicular, I was taught that the rule, the like actual rule or whatever is you yield to the right.
Yes,
so like whoever is the person to the right, if they're to the right of you, that means they go first and you wait or whatever. So I always will try to do that, but sometimes the person who's to the right will just be sitting there staring at me, or they'll give me the thing or whatever, and then I'm like, and of course, when they give me the wave, then I just fucking go. But
you go.
It's just one of those things that seems like people just don't know, and I always think like, am I crazy? That is a fucking
you're not
thing.
Crazy.
It's like a thing people just learn at 16, then forget and just rely on the little wave for the rest of their life.
Every single day, going to the park, I see an example of someone who has clearly been driving for 30 years, not know the basic rules.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I'm like, do you not know or do you not care? Either way, I hate you, but one of them I can kind of forgive a little bit more.
I was debating whether or not to bring this up already, but now I'm just going to do it because it's like, it's fun. I don't know how this will. I already told y'all this via text message, but I told Katie a couple nights ago or whatever, and that's why it's on my mind again. But also, it's about this. I was at a 4-way stop, like no lights of any kind, no crossing signals, just a regular ass 4-way stop with crosswalks. okay, in La Jolla, California, which is a
Beautiful.
bougie beachside suburb of San Diego, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very,
If you got a
very,
lot of money, move
very
there.
brunchy, very Instagrammy, right? And I'm in because I was there doing the
Batman
comedy
would have
store.
nothing to do in that town. Not a thing.
Do what?
Batman
What'd
would
you
have
say?
nothing.
Oh,
Batman
yeah.
wouldn't have
Right.
a thing to do in that town, bud.
So I was walking across. I was walking to the gym, and because the hotel I was at didn't have their own gym, but you could use a local gym for free if you were staying there. So I'm walking through town to a gym, going through a 4-way stop with no lights of any kind. I'm about to step into the crosswalk, and across from me, turning with the turn signal on, like turning the direction that I'm walking over, there's a a woman in a Mercedes SUV. And she
The
pulls
worst
up to the
combination.
right. Exactly. I'm not sure if she was Asian or not, but she pulled up to the stop sign and sorry, but she pulled up to the stop sign with the turn signal on right as I arrive at the crosswalk, like right as I'm stepping out into it.
Yeah.
She's at the stop sign and I see her and she sees me, but I'm walking and I'm like,
Yeah.
So I just step out into the crosswalk and I'm like, but she starts to go. She starts to like pull, and I'm looking at her thinking like, well, she's not. I mean, she's gonna stop. I know she sees my fat ass or whatever. Like, but she like pulls. So I just keep walking in the crosswalk because pedestrians, and that especially in that situation, but always have the right of way. Correct, 100%.
I don't have to agree with it, but it's true.
She pulls up. She continues to pull up to until she gets like right in front of me, and then like stops like. You know, like that. Yes, as though I jumped out in front of her or something when I was just waddling through at a standard pace the whole time. And she just pulls up and like stops, and I just keep walking. And I'm not going to say anything. But as I walk by her, and again, this is right on the corner where this happens. There's a lovely little seaside bistro with all this outdoor seating, with all these wonderful, well-to-do white families eating at it with their children and shit, eating eggs Benedict and stuff. As I get past her, she then pulls off, and as she pulls to go by me, she has her window down and she goes, "Smart, bro, real smart."
God, oh!
And I said,
"I'm not saying he should have done it, but I'm saying
without even thinking at all. Like I wasn't gonna say nothing, but when she said that, I yelled, "It's a fucking crosswalk, you dumb bitch!" Right?
In your accent.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes. And it's like, I'm a man with my accent, all that. None of those people were paying attention. They don't know anything that happened. I'm sure they didn't hear her. Yeah. They all heard me.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, I thought about that. I mean, it was 2 weeks ago and I'm still thinking about it. So I told Katie, and Katie like rolled her eyes she was like, "I think even if you had just said the fucking crosswalk part, like you probably still would have been fine." She was like, "But you just had to call her a dumb bitch."
Okay,
I was like,
all right.
I was like, yeah. But did you hear what she did?
Like, not that I wasn't going to defend you anyways.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's nothing, and I mean that, nothing that you could have said that I wouldn't immediately be like, "Y'all get off my boy right now." But like she acts like you chose to say anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like once it's the fucking crosswalk comes out of your mouth, everything else is your rage piloting. Like if you'd have thought, my point is if you'd have thought about it at all, you wouldn't have said anything. The point is you didn't think because you were fucking mad. Right. And this is another case where so often it happens that the women are the Japanese and we are the goddamn atomic bomb. That's every fucking time. And nobody gives a fuck what the Japanese did as soon as we leveled that ass in Hiroshima, and it's fucking infuriating. It's infuriating. Like, dude, is domestic violence against women a problem? Absolutely. Those men need to be killed. But women also need to quit running around acting like they could never get punched. You know what I'm saying? Because fucking Jesus, lady. Like, let a fucking guy do that shit? We got a fucking crime about to happen. But, you got yelled at, so now Trae's a fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, so many good men have been taken down because some bitch wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but this I'm not even saying this about all. This is specifically about this woman who hurt my friend, who fucked with my friend, and I don't like it. So and see, this is a perfect example. I started talking, and then my madness said a bunch of stuff that I don't mean. So I'm sorry, but fuck.
It reminds me, it's like, I know, because like, again, it's like, it is wild how people, like, road rage specifically, but just everything adjacent to it, how people would just like, I was fine. I'd like just woken up recently. I was going to the gym. I was listening to music.
Well, in my experience.
Why? But because I had just woken up. Well, no, I mean, I had woken up like an hour and a half before that, like, that's how long it takes me to wake up.
Me too.
But
I think that's most people, like, if they'd admit it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, not because I've been going to a sleep specialist lately, and he indicates to me that that's not true.
Some people just wake up hitting.
Yeah, I mean that's what I have been given to believe. Also, Katie kind of wakes up hitting. I don't. It blows my mind, dude. Every single morning, I have to crawl out of a grave. Like that is what it feels. That is what it feels like every fucking day.
I literally have to,
and like it, but no, evidently that's not normal. But like normal people, like wake up like, like in a fucking movie, like a princess in a cartoon or something, and fucking birds singing and shit, and they feel recharged. They feel recharged by sleep, I
literally have to every morning remind myself that I'm a father so that I have a reason to get up. Because I would, if there was if your phone had, instead of snooze and stop, there was another button on your alarm that said suicide and it would kill you, I would have hit that. You know what? I'm in that state. Because when you first wake up, you're like, that would hit.
People, I'm saying, apparently the way it's supposed to work is, again, your batteries are recharged by sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, that's for some people, that's like the best and most energized you feel all day. You wake, and then you gradually go downward like a battery depleting from a cell phone that gets unplugged in the morning. But for me, when I wake up in the morning, that's 100. That is the worst I'm going to feel all day. Like every day. Like that's the way. And it's like, it don't hit. But anyway, I don't even remember how we got into talking about that. But
me either. But like, if I got something to do at 8 and I have to be locked in at 8, like hypothetically, if I had a scene to shoot at 8 where I can't just show up, I'd have to wake up at 6. Right. Have to. And just be awake for 2 hours. I mean, obviously coffee and all that stuff, but even without the coffee, it's just, my brain needs 2 hours of priming. Okay. First off, let's take a break.
Yeah, I was about to say that too, actually.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back with some new This Week in Stank.
Okay. Hits. All right, we'll talk to y'all about Ridge. You know Ridge. We've told you before. They make fancy, futuristic, modern wallets, luggage, premium everyday gear for the modern man. See, this is a Ridge wallet right here. You see how it looks like it's like out of a RoboCop movie or something? Looks like something that like a space marine would carry his credit cards in. That's what I think anyway. And don't get much cooler than a space marine. They do cool stuff over there, and including they got a sweepstakes they do. They've done it 5 times. Well, this is the 5th time, and it gets wilder and wilder every year. And it ain't just any regular old sweepstakes. This time around, 2 lucky winners of Ridge's sweepstakes will get to choose between a $300,000 Lamborghini Huracan Stirato, a $150,000 Hennessy Velociraptor. That's a cognac dinosaur, I guess. I'm not sure. Maybe is that a motor? Is that a helicopter? Surely not. I'm too trash to know what these things are, but I can tell that they hit. Or you can get $100,000 in cold hard cash. I think I'd probably go with the cash. I'm not sure I could pull off a Lambo or a dinosaur in my current lifestyle situation and neighborhood, but we can all use 100,000 G's, right? But if there's only 1,500 Huracan Stiratos that even exist, and Ridge is giving you the chance to own one. This Lambo is the world's first off-road supercar. So pretty crazy. The Hennessy Velociraptor has an insane 558 horsepower twin turbo. It's an American muscle car put into a all-terrain truck. So it's a truck. There we go. Yeah. Problem solved. There's no reason not to enter this sweepstakes. You can enter it completely for free at ridge.com. So why not take a shot, right? What do you stand to lose? Literally nothing. If you want to boost your odds, every dollar you spend on Ridge's site gets you an additional entry. So grab a Ridge wallet, power bank, phone case, whatever you need, and rack up those entries. Cho, tell them more.
Man, I got to get me one of them power banks. I am loving my wallet, and I didn't go with the gunmetal Space Marine. I went with the Meemaw's fridge from the 70s, sort of seafoam greenish. That's more my style. I'm a bright dude. And the thing is, whatever your style, they got over 50 colors and styles, and it's not just functional, it's personal. You know what I mean? If you want that sleek black forged carbon fiber thing, that's cool, but you can also get one that features your favorite NFL team. I might do that, although I'm not necessarily always proud to be a Titan, but you get it. It's not just about wallets. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all products. And I got to tell you, like, obviously they're sleek and look cool, but the greatest thing for me is not having that big old fat lump in my jeans anymore in the back. You know what I mean? Still got the one in the front. Holler at your boy. If you're ready to upgrade your wallet and maybe your ride for a limited time only, head to ridge.com and use code POA at checkout for 10% off your order and a chance to win Ridge's biggest sweepstake ever, a Lamborghini Huracan Sterato. Sounds like a Rey Mysterio wrestling move. A Hennessy Velociraptor, or $100,000 in cash. No purchase necessary to enter, but every dollar you spend gets you more entries. That's ridge.com. Use promo code POA. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that our show sent you. Skew.
Y'all, I want to talk about man buns. And I don't mean like the ones on a barista's head, not those trendy bro haircuts from a few years ago. I mean, I guess bros are still rocking those. Crunchy bros. That's who has man buns. But we all men have buns, because I'm talking about your butt. That's what I'm talking about, not your hair. Talking about your sweaty, stinking ass. It's summertime. Man, we know how it is. It's like a hairy jungle disaster down there. Like most days, women don't even understand the pain that we all feel. Like you just sitting upright. Sometimes you're like, I can smell my whole deal, and that ain't it. That ain't good. Nobody wants that. They call that swamp ass, and we're here to help you eradicate it from your life entirely with this week's sponsor, Tushy, the number one luxury bidet provider that you'll hear broadcasted on this show. I can tell you that much. Tushy is the ultimate reset anytime you're feeling cooked. I've told this story before, but still, it's the truth. I'm white trash from rural Tennessee. I thought bidet, hell, it's a French word. Like, I thought bidets were exclusively the province of fancy buttholes. I was like, that ain't for mine. I got a blue collar working class butthole. That's for an aristocrat's butthole. That's what I always thought. But it gradually, as it got more and more popular, I was like, what is going on? Everybody, all these uppity buttholes out here. But then my buddy Caleb, who, he's been in the skew universe for a while. He, at a bar one night, he just explained it to me very simply. He was like, well, dude, think about it. If you got some poop on your wrist, like, you wouldn't just take a little paper napkin and just smear it off and then be okay. He's like, that's insane. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. I literally never thought about it like that. And that one conversation reframed the way I looked at bidets forever. I still thought it was too complicated for me. I'm not a plumbing enthusiast or nothing. So I didn't know how it was going to go when Tushy sent us a bidet, but even my sorry, not a real man ass got it hooked up in no time. And I tell you what, just butthole just be sparkling ever since. It's a wild feeling. It just, I don't know, just pure as the driven snow down there, really, is what it's like. And again, this time of year, any opportunity to go in the bathroom is an opportunity to freshen up a little bit, where you need to be the freshest. So I'm loving it. I dig it. And I'm glad Tushy is a sponsor, because Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for the rest of your life. They got a bidet for every biohacking personality type. They got their Cloud Plus, which automatically deodorizes the air as soon as you sit down. They've got Aura, which automatically opens the seat for you whenever they enter the bathroom. Yes, enter my lord. Feed me. It's what your turlet says. Give me that poop. Tushy's elevated bidet collection nurtures your bottom with instant warm water that never runs cold, a soothing heated seat, UV sterilization for next level hygiene, and all Tushy bidets easily attach to your existing toilet without the need for any additional plumbing. All right, so instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient, fresh water, baby. That's all it takes. Installation's simple, take you about 10 minutes. Anybody can do it. There's nothing to it, so it's time. Keep your swampiest body parts fresh and cool. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code POA at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code POA. Tushy, make your butthole hit.
Trae,
And we're back. All right.
are you familiar, and maybe you are, but I always just assume
I've got a This Week in Stank. Well, it's not this week, but I have a Stank related thing. I was going to bring this up anyway, and I wasn't thinking about how it relates to Stank, but it does relate to Stank. So anyway, go ahead.
It's wild. Dude, I really do think that we are butt of butt and blood of blood because, like, I wear the Texas and the Tennessee shirt. You got a story for that.
Right.
I got a Stank story. You got a Stank story.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that you know about this because I always assume anytime you have some Stank news, you text it to me, and you've not texted me this Stank news. Are you familiar?
I was planning on talking about it today, though, so that's why.
Maybe it's the same thing. Are you
No,
familiar?
no, mine's not new. Go ahead.
Okay. Are you familiar with BBLs?
Yeah, Brazilian butt lifts.
Yes.
I wasn't until I think I learned it on this show because I remember Katie listened to the episode and was like, I can't believe you didn't know what a BBL was. But that was an early episode.
Someone that don't need one, player.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True that.
So are you familiar with, and this is not a dance move, even though it sounds like it, are you familiar with the BBL stank?
No, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing. So I've been
BBL, but those butts stank worse than standard issue butts.
Yes, because it's not the part of the butt that stank that all of our butts stank in. Now, I've been tracking this trend early, like for a long time, because I first started seeing it pop up when it was just like your Charleston White type standards of own business. Yeah. We're just talking about like, man, these big booty bitches don't know how much they fucking stank. And I first I was like, okay, is it, and my theory was like, is their ass so big that they can't wipe properly now? Like, and I think that's a reasonable thing to assume.
Bro,
and then,
if it's poop that's making the BBL stink, that's rough.
No, it's not poop. So it's crazier. So I keep seeing it. And then all of a sudden, this legion of big ass ladies come out like, I got a BBL. I don't fucking stink. I don't know why people keep telling me I stink. Yada, yada, yada. I clean my shit. Blah, blah, blah. Well, turns out a lot of people that have BBLs do stink, but it has nothing to do with their hygiene. And through the only fault of theirs is that they got a BBL to begin with, because the process of getting a BBL is they take fat from somewhere else in your body and put it in your ass. Now, that fat is then supposed to realgamate itself with the other part of your butt fat and then become one cohesive fat. Sometimes, however, like a breast implant that just don't take, the fat also, it don't form into one fat and it just dies, and they have rotting fat in their ass. That smells like a fucking sewer, and these people pay $30,000 to have this done, and then they ass just rotten on the inside.
What do you do about that? Like, what do you have to go back to the doctor and get the rotten fat sucked out of your butt?
I guess you have to, but like again, the
also,
stages
is that not like dangerous? Like, is that not?
To be.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right. That's like you can't just be rotting on the inside.
Right, like ain't that like what necrosis is or whatever? Like, eventually, I mean, I the only medical knowledge I have is from taking a medical terminology class in my one semester of college. But I think that like necrosis. And if that happens, if you have something that be dying inside you, then it makes you septic. You know what I mean? Because it gets in your
You're
blood.
right. I mean, yeah, that's what I would have thought
All I
too.
know
Yeah.
is that the Charleston Whites of the world are having a field day now that this has come out, because they were just like, I told you that bitch stank, like all that shit. But like,
But
I don't know.
that means it's stinking so hard that it's like permeating the skin.
Oh yeah. Oh, bad. Like bad.
Getting seeping through the skin. Like,
yeah.
That makes me also feel like, does it not? Does it look and feel the same and stuff? Because you think it'd get like lumpy and
it will. There's
mushy
no way it don't get lumpy.
and not. And I mean, that's very unfortunate, right there.
It's super unfortunate because, like, listen. Obviously, some people, men and women alike, go too far with plastic surgery, and like it's way more noticeable in women because I don't think men do the thing with their lips as much, and like some women go way too crazy or whatever. And yeah, I'm not for that.
Also, but men and women both, at least famous ones, are that most. Well, I don't know if it's the most recent trend. I'm sure they moved on to something else now, but for a while that buccal fat removal thing is to me one of the craziest.
It's insane
things that ever took off because it literally makes them look like ghouls, like the sunken faced ghoul. Like Tom Brady definitely got that. There's definitely been a lot of dudes that have.
Oh, I'm gonna get it.
And okay.
I need it.
I'm about to say for you, it's like you be having jowls.
Yeah,
as we all know.
Brady looked fine.
So right, but most of these people who do it, they hit beforehand. You know, and then they.
No offense taken. I don't hit, which is why I want it.
Right, and that's what makes it egregious. If you got big old jowls like you do, then I think it probably. I can't imagine it would come out the other side quite.
Like when Brady did it, it would be like Weird Al Yankovic getting hair plugs. It's like, you already got it. What do you whatever. But anyways, all I want to say is I'm not to disparage on any woman who wants to feel better about herself. I totally understand it. And it's like, if you got a pancake ass and you want a better ass, like go get you Brazilian. Now, some of them go insane with it where it's like, bruh, I've seen some of them, dog, that I literally thought it was AI until like I went to this person's like Wikipedia and then seen they ass. Some of them, dude, I swear on you, like remember the old rap lyrics where they were like, "Sit a drink on it, come back." You could put an entire TGI Fridays tray filled with mozzarella stick on this fucking ass and it would stay. Like that's how insane it is.
Yeah, the doctors who do those, I think, should have their licenses taken away. I
agree.
The stuff that's truly freakish shit that some people do, like they shouldn't be allowed to have it done. Now, of course, I don't know. Maybe they're going to fucking, Bulgaria or some wild ass place where they don't have, regulations and shit. Maybe that's how they're getting that done. But it shouldn't be legal, though.
I was about to say I haven't looked into this because this is all pretty fresh. Like I said, I saw it trending from like, is there a BBL stank to now it's a confirmed, like, this is what's happening. And I wouldn't doubt it that, like, our buddy Rocky, and I don't blame him for doing this, Rocky went to Mexico to get his teeth because it was like for the price of getting your teeth done in America, you could go down to Mexico, get them done, and then spend 2 weeks hitting in Mexico and it still be cheaper. So he did that. And
right.
It's great.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of people are going that route for this, but this to me is a way more serious.
Teeth, all of these things to me, it's like I mean, it seems to have worked out just fine for Rocky and good for him, but like my philosophy on all of these things has always been like, these are not the things you want to skimp on for. Right, that you want to use a Groupon for, basically, or whatever, because like, dude, some of those people get their teeth done that me and you talked about for years. Our teeth don't hit, we know that. But I've seen a lot of people that get their teeth done that they'd be looking wild afterward. Like even like people with money and shit, like they get their teeth done.
They look like a bobblehead,
cartoonish, like a bobblehead. They got big chiclet teeth and stuff, and it don't hit. And so it's just like that's a real dice roll. I feel like being like, oh, I can get it way cheaper in Mexico and also hit on the beach for a while. But
in Rocky's defense, he had a buddy that did it and he saw his buddy's teeth. So that's different to me. It's like, okay, well, I've seen this guy can do it. But even then though, like teeth are way less, in my opinion, that's way less of a risk than getting stuff injected into your butt, because like you can always obviously you can get your butt fixed, but like once you have inserted dead fat into my butt, then my butt, I feel, will never look the same again. But with the teeth, it's like, we'll just
I
take these
didn't-
off and put different teeth on.
I think I did know that they took fat from elsewhere, but it's like, is it not? They can't just. Why don't they do? Is it not work the way titties work? Like
I don't know.
silicone implants.
You know what
or
I
whatever.
bet? Because they sit on it, so those would pop.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
maybe.
I guarantee it is, because like if like
Okay. Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's
No.
just fun. I know you were speculating, and it's just funny that you went from like, I don't know. Oh, I think it might be this, and to no, I guarantee you that's it.
I do guarantee you that's
less
it.
than 8 seconds.
But
that's where,
but here's the thing: I do guarantee you that that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Because
All right.
those breast implants themselves can pop.
Right.
So without having 200 pounds of pressure put on them. So imagine if you had that technology in a thing that you're constantly putting 200 pounds of pressure on. Like, I guarantee you that's why. Look that shit up right now, cuz.
Okay. All right, I guess I will. It
while
does
you-
make sense.
While you do that, you want me to fuck? Here's some old school fuck your shit up with Professor Cho. So there's this trend on Twitter right now where it's like share a piece of, like, the first one I saw was share a piece of golf lore about yourself, and people were sharing it. And then it was like share a piece of dating lore about yourself. And then someone has done share a piece of lore so horrifying that it'll end this trend forever. And this dude said, the primary and nail in the coffin reason that we know the hippocampus, which is a part of your brain, that we know the hippocampus converts short-term memory to long-term memory is because a surgeon completely removed the hippocampus, from a man to stop him from having seizures. That man then proceeded to spend the next 55 years waking up every day thinking he was waking up from that surgery. Because is that dude, like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's 51st dates or whatever, like that type of thing. It's wild that's a real thing, but it's like, that whole aspect of like consciousness and memory and shit is something that I think about all the time. I've talked about it, I'm sure, on here, definitely on Well Read many times over the years, that whole teleportation thought experiment that I love bringing up. But the idea that, like, there's no way to know. We were just talking about surgeries. I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure we're all pretty sure, it's like, it's fine and this isn't what is happening, but we don't understand consciousness, and there's no way to know for sure.
No.
That when you went in there and got your consciousness obliterated through the use of drugs so they could do a surgery or whatever, that you, the old you, actually ever woke up.
Right.
Like, it could just, what happened, just you have all the same, parts, hardware and wiring and stuff, and then that got brought back to consciousness at the end of the procedure. And so that version of you has all the memories and shit. And if you make a direct copy of you that has every single memory you ever have, they are not going to know that they're not you. They can't know that they're not you. So, like, it's, and also the same thing. Like, sometimes when
like,
I've been
hypothetically, somewhere is a version of you in the void screaming,
Right. And and it's like those 55 years of his life, it's like none of them ever happened because he doesn't remember them, because that's how memory and consciousness works. And it's like, I've actually had the thought before while hammered.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this ain't like true. It doesn't work because I don't know. This is wild to think about, in my opinion. I've been with friends while hammered, and somebody will be like, man, I hope we don't like forget this tomorrow or whatever, because this is hitting or whatnot. And I'll be like, we ain't going to forget it. You know how I know we're not going to forget it? Because, like, we're talking about that right now, and I know that we'll remember it, because if we're
conscious enough to have this thought, we're conscious enough to
but it's like and then every time, like, I do remember it, but how many times has something like that happened and I did forget it? But it's
so
like
many, and you'll never know.
And you'll never know, right? So it's like confirmation bias and all that too. But just like, I don't know, memory and consciousness and all that is wild. You told me to look this up, so I did.
Stank. Oh, yeah.
First of all, they are, so BBLs specifically are what you said, fat implants. But it's not that BBLs can't use silicone. BBLs took the place of butt implants. There was butt implants and breast implants.
Because they were exploding.
And butt implants are made of silicone and
they were exploding.
After all, butt implants were the go-to solution for flat or small bottoms for many years. The general consensus now, however, amongst most plastic surgeons is that BBLs are the superior choice because they offer a more natural-looking results, but they also help you contour other trouble areas like your abdomen. So it's like you can take fat out of your gut where it don't hit and put it in your butt where it does hit. But, yeah, I don't think that – let's see here.
Well, agree to disagree with the scientific community.
I'm about to say, well, this is on a plastic surgery website.
What do they know? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just that but yeah, it's hilarious that you, again, how quickly you got to, I guarantee that's what it is. But,
you just explained white men.
I expect nothing less here at PO8. Do you want to hear my stank thing?
So bad. And I'm so sorry for interrupting you.
It's have you seen Poop Cruise?
The one that's the same as the Rob Ford documentary.
That's called Trainwreck. I've been working my way through the Trainwreck series.
Yeah, they're great. I've been wanting to watch it because I was like, well, maybe me and Trae will talk about this, but I'm glad you have. Go ahead. Sell it to me.
I think that Poop Cruise, I've gotten the impression, I think it's the most popular of all the Trainwrecks.
Well,
because look at the,
Poop Cruise.
It grabs you. And also, do you remember that happening? I remember that happening.
I remember it happening. We were on tour.
Vaguely.
We were on tour, right?
No, we weren't. No.
It was pre-hit?
Yeah, it was pre-hit. That was probably when we were making those lunatic sketches in Ben's backyard. Yeah. It was probably that era. I'm not saying that's when it was. It was it was around closer to that time.
That would explain why I know that I remember it happening, but I have no memory of the whole thing because, as you know, that part of our lives gone with the wind.
Right. So it basically... It was a Carnival cruise ship because also this is on brand for POA. We've talked about cruises before. They've come up because it's one of those things. It's like they seem fancy, but really they're trash.
They're casinos on the water.
And so a Carnival cruise ship went to Mexico, and on the way back, there was a fire in the engine room, and it caused them to lose all power, all navigational capacity. They were dead in the water, no power, nothing. 4,200 guests. In the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, just afloat. I'm sorry. Excuse me. In the middle of the Gulf of God's own country, America.
Thank you. We're sponsored by Halliburton, and I don't want to get screwed here.
So, and then it took them 3 or 4 days to get back, and in that time, people were they were telling them to poop in bags because they're on apparently I didn't know this, but
for some people.
On a cruise ship, toilets are they require electricity to operate, and so they couldn't use toilets. So they were pooping in bags, telling the women to piss in the shower, telling the men to piss off the side of the boat.
We can't piss in the shower either.
Well, I mean, if you want to, but it's just it would hit harder to piss off the boat, I think.
Dude, I'd be so stoked if I was a dude. Shitting in a boat would suck, but getting carte blanche to pee off the side of a boat, I'd be like, this is worth it.
When the tugboats finally showed up and hooked up to the cruise ship and started to move it, it made the big ship list, tilt.
Yeah.
Which made all the days worth of pee and stuff and poop because a lot of people were just pooping in the non-working toilets and just leaving it. And so when that tilted, all the pee and poop and stuff came out and just went all over the boat and shit. And people were walking through pee and poop and that don't hit. Right.
Again. Statistically, for 1% of the people on that boat, it hit a little bit.
Yeah, right. But anyway, I mean, that's pretty much it. But the main thing what I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to see, I don't know where you were at on this, if you agreed with me or everybody, but I, of course, got on Reddit after watching it because I do that anytime I watch pretty much anything. I'll check out the discussion thread on Reddit.
It's great. See what the real Americans are saying.
Right. And usually, because I'm a fat white dork, normally I'm pretty plugged into Reddit. Usually me and Reddit are generally on the same page on a lot of things.
Me too, yeah.
So, but with 2 episodes of Trainwreck, the other one was Balloon Boy. But this one especially, Reddit, the whole consensus on Reddit was they were they interviewed for the documentary. They interviewed 6 or so passengers who were on the poop cruise, right? Yes, on that cruise. And these people the whole time were like, bitching about it.
Yeah.
They were like, it's summertime in the middle of the Gulf. There's no AC. It's hot as fuck. They're like, people like all the perishable food rotted. They ran out. Like we were just giving us like lettuce and onions and shit to eat because that's all there was.
Most poopy foods.
Right. Yeah. They're like, we're pooping in bags and like, it don't hit. Right.
It sucks.
And it's like, of course it don't fucking hit. But all these people on Reddit, like all the most upvoted comments from people being like, I just can't believe how entitled and insufferable all these passengers were. It's like, fucking pull yourself together. You could just tell that Americans never have to put up with any real adversity because it's like, this is a crisis situation. Just fucking buck up and deal with it and stop complaining so much or whatever. And
Part of dealing with something is complaining about it.
It's also like they are a fucking my whole thing with it was like, if some crazy act of God, like a rogue squall or something popped up and fucked their boat up that no one could have ever predicted, a freak accident, then fine, whatever. We're all in this together, emergency situation type thing. But they also interviewed this lawyer who was talking about Carnival, how he dug up that Carnival had 9 different fires on 9 different ships and there was faulty wiring and stuff and they knew about it and they didn't fucking fix it. And so this was like a predictable and preventable catastrophe. So it's like these people are on vacation
and
with a multi-billion-dollar fucking cruise ship company that was negligent and allowed this to happen. Like, they ought to be bitching about it. It's fucking, they're not, I don't blame them at all. It is completely unacceptable that happened. And they should have been fucking, like me, I'm bitching about it and I wasn't even on there. Dude, if me and or you had been on a boat where that happened, I'd never stop talking about it to this day. Never. But like, I just couldn't believe the response to it was like, I was like, what, you guys are on fucking Carnival side? Because it just seems like they were like, oh, well, accidents happen, shit happens. But it's like, no. They should, like,
they do though. And then you're allowed, when you're the butt of that, pun intended, to bitch. Right. Matter of fact, for a lot of people, it's the only power we have is to bitch.
Exactly. And also, again, accidents do happen. If it's a one-time thing, that's also different. But like I said, it wasn't. It was a known problem that they had that they just ignored because they're like, it'll be fine because it would cost money to fix it, and they don't want to spend money. And that's how corporations operate. And I just thought it was fucking, I don't know. And then the other one was the Balloon Boy one. Basically, you'd have to see it to understand. But on Reddit, it was just very anti the family when it's like the family is definitely shady. But also, I don't
remember that exact story though. So fill me in on just the highlights. What was they sent the boy up in a balloon?
The story was, and again, this is all a matter of public record. We all lived through it. It was weird the way the documentary was filmed because I spent the first half of it going like, wait, but I thought this whole thing was a hoax. Didn't we find out this was a hoax?
So the Chinese.
Right. But in the first, it's like they tried to hide that ball in the first half of the documentary, and it was confusing to me because I was like, "This was a hoax, right? Like, why are they acting like this was real?" And then there's a turn in the documentary where then they start talking about it differently. But at the time, a crazy inventor, white trash motherfucker, like a Florida Man version of Doc Brown or something,
which is Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty,
right? He made a. He lived in Colorado at the time. He does now live in a swamp in Florida, though. But which is where he belongs. But he made a homemade UFO thing, pumped it full of helium, and it took off. And they meant to do all that, but they claim that their 6-year-old son hid inside of it, like just playing around, and then floated away, and they didn't mean to. Yeah. And I remember all that happening too, because there was like a 3-hour period where there was a rogue homemade weather balloon thing with a kindergartner in it.
Yeah.
We all thought just floating 10,000 feet up in Colorado. And they had to shut down the airspace, all kinds of crazy shit. It was covered on that international news, the boy in the balloon boy. And then it lands finally and he wasn't in there and they find him asleep in the attic. He just went and fallen asleep as little kids do.
They didn't check anywhere. They were just like, is it?
Right. Exactly. That is a fucking part of it because the cops were at their house and and people asked the cops later, they were like, you've got the whole fucking world. The eyes are on this kid. What's happened to him? Because at first, when it first landed, they thought, did he fall out of it? Like, is he dead on the ground somewhere? Right. So people, they're like, you got the whole world watch this. You know what it is? And it's like, and you are at the house. You've got multiple officers at the family's house. It's like, and you didn't search the fucking house,
right?
You know, and the cops were like,
if they had cocaine in there, you'd have turned it over. You know,
right? And the cops were just like, they literally were like, well, like I thought that we did, but I guess not. It's just like the cops are so fucking stupid. But anyway,
worthless.
But like, anyway, so that's part of it. They find him in the garage, and like that night, they go on Larry King. It was Wolf Blitzer doing Larry King, asked the little boy a question. He's like, did you not hear your parents calling out your name? That didn't wake you up when you were napping? And the little boy's like, well, he looked at his parents. He's like, well, you two said that we were doing it for the show, right? Right. And his dad goes, man. Right. Like, that's what, who could have seen that coming? I can't believe this kid just said the darndest thing. I never anticipated. that might happen.
Dude, say what you will about Cosby, but he wasn't wrong about everything, you know?
So that immediately changed everything. Like from that point on, the whole country turned on him and, you know, became like, was this what? Whoa, what? Did they faked all this or
this
whatever?
This is like some Logan Paul bullshit.
Right. Yes. But like pre-Vine, pre-social media, actually I saw some people point out like really this dude was ahead of his time.
Yes, he was, dude.
Because like if he did some shit like that in the modern, the TikTok era and stuff, it would have made a much bigger difference. But like he was trying to get people he was trying to get a reality show because that was what back then was. That was that era.
How are you going to get one after? Like you already did the season finale,
right? I know
for free.
Well, he's a little wild. But anyway, the dude, the whole family denies to this day that it was they still maintain that what I said happened is what happened. They genuinely thought the kid was in there because his older brother said he was. Right, of course. What else are they going to say? But they ended up like going to jail for that. And perpetrating the hoax and stuff.
Resources.
But I'm saying the cops with the not searching the house, but like also they interviewed the sheriff and also the chief, one of the elite investigator, or whatever. And these dudes suck so hard. Yeah. And like they have footage of them interrogating these people and stuff, and the way they handled the process the whole time, and through the whole thing, I was like, okay, pretty sure this family's lying, but fuck these cops though. Like the dude's wife is a Japanese immigrant who speaks broken English. You watch the cop interview her, basically like coerce a confession out of her that was a very half-assed confession in the first place, that he basically put the words in her mouth and all this shit that they always do. And like, I just thought there'd be more people on Reddit, you know, being like
talking shit about the cops.
Yeah. And it was almost entirely like just 100%, you know, fuck that family, which I don't, that part is whatever. It's just that it's like, yeah, but fuck those cops too. And so anyway, I don't know. But I'm still, like I said, I've got like 3 or 4 of those left. I'm definitely going to watch the rest of them.
Me too. This whole thing that you just described reminds me of one of my favorite Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update lines, which is, this may sound controversial, but I believe that everyone involved in this story should die. Yeah. Like that's exactly how I feel. And to go back to the poop thing, because I do have some thoughts on not the situation, because we know that there's nothing else that can be, you know, that's turds under the bridge. Yeah. But the people on Reddit who are talking about how everyone on this ship is like so entitled, I would like to explain perhaps these people are from different countries, right? I would like to explain to these people that going on a cruise does not mean that you are a wealthy or even rich person, right? Here's why it would make me so mad, and it does make me so mad for these people, because I live in this area. You've lived in an area like this. Some people save for years to be able to do something like that.
Right.
years before that. And some don't even ever get to do it. But like when somebody, and Carnival is not like, dude, Carnival is like the redneck Riviera of them, I think. I'm not sure, but like of the boats you can go on, Carnival's not the most expensive. So like there's people who have shifted their work schedules around, gotten somebody to watch their kids, put what should go into their life savings into this vacation because they deserve a good time too. And then this happens to them.
Right.
Like, I would be, and especially when you understand, like you said, that it wasn't like a seagull flew into the fucking, the hardware or something. It was corporate malfeasance.
Right.
I would be livid.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, like, look, I don't know how any of the lawsuits went, but obviously you're getting your damn money back. I'll tell you what I would do. Because I think about these situations.
I know how the lawsuits went. I can tell you if you want to know. It's covered at the end of the documentary.
I'll tell you what I would have done, though. Because, like, I've told people a bunch, like me and Gareth Reynolds from the DOP were talking about this. Like, I really want to be, I would love to be shot, but knowing that I would live. And he's like, that would be painful. And I was like, dude, it would be painful. But, like, if I know I'm going to live, like, I forever get to say that I got shot. And I want that more than I don't want to be shot, And I also think like a dream of mine would be like, dude, what happened to Tracy Morgan? Oh, dude.
Right.
Oh, God. Like, again, in the scenario, I have to live and not be wheelchair bound. But like every now and then I'll be in a city and like I'll see a city bus that kind of driving a little too fast. I'm like, man, if I could just lean my elbow out there and just have them snap my elbow, I'd own this city. If I'm on that cruise, I might not have thought of this at first, and I definitely wouldn't want to do it at first because then you still got to be on the boat for a while. But I would have absolutely cut my arm and rubbed it into poop.
In the poop water?
Yeah, that way I got like life-threatening sepsis, and I would have gone to the doctor before my symptoms even started and been like, hey, I think, that way I know I'm going to live. Because, dude, you get at least $10 million out of that, and then you can go on all the poop cruises you want, bro.
Right. So on that note, that all kind of comes up in the documentary because I mentioned earlier they talked to a lawyer. Because again, I'd be thinking the same thing the whole time I was on there. I'd be like, I'm gonna sue these motherfuckers for everything they got. Right? Yeah. It's like, and they talked to this lawyer, and he's like, he's a cartoon character of a lawyer. He literally never doesn't have a stogie in his hand. He's always drinking like whiskey on the rocks. His hair's greasy and stuff. But he's like. So he's like kind of a sleazeball lawyer or whatever. And that was another thing people were talking about on Reddit. He came up and they're like, fuck this guy. It's like, you could tell he was seeing dollar signs as soon as he saw this news art, as soon as he saw the story being covered. And he was.
No,
and that's
shit.
all true.
That's what they do. That's
all true. But also, that guy is the guy that uncovered that shit about them having a problem with fires that they neglected to do anything about. And it's like, and he's like, these companies should pay for this. And it's like, that dude is right. Like, I know he's a sleazeball and I know he's self-enriching himself, but two things but he is still right about that.
But that's how a lawyer's job works. Like, you're going to get money, you're going to get paid. But like, what do you like? So nobody should ever benefit from litigation because the lawyer also will. That's crazy.
See, that was another thing. In Balloon Boy, there's a lawyer, and he was the family's lawyer, and he was talking shit about the cops. And it's like on Reddit, they're like, that lawyer's such a scumbag. And there were some people like, no, that lawyer's fucking. That lawyer's like a civil rights hero in Colorado or whatever, which I guess is true. But it's like that lawyer's not. He's the good guy in that scenario. Like people just think lawyers suck because we hear all the lawyer jokes and shit as a kid and everything. But it's like
save that energy for the police,
right? Yeah, but most lawyers, like I don't know about most, but a lot of lawyers, it's like when it comes to the ones that like hold the police and also big companies and shit to fucking task, like no, they should hit for you. You shouldn't,
even a guy like Johnny Cochran should hit for you, in my opinion, because it's like, first off, you're like, he defended OJ and OJ was guilty. It's like he don't know OJ was guilty, but OJ you can't. As Drew said, when you said like how many times did you represent someone and you think they actually did it? He's like every time, every time. But like Johnny Cochran, like dude, OJ should have went to jail, and I think ultimately God got OJ, But like undeniably, it was worth the whole thing for Johnny Cochran to expose Mark Furman, and he was right in doing so. Like the angle, they're like, oh, he just played the race card, and it's like, you mean the card that he should have played in order to win? Like, OJ should have fried, but Johnny Cochran was playing with what he was dealt, and there was evidence tampering, and there was a racist that was investigating the thing, and two things can be true, and you better fucking hope that more people are like Johnny Cochran.
So with that guy sued Carnival over all that, another thing that happened was at that point in time, when you bought a Carnival ticket, in the fine print, it said, this ticket in no way guarantees you a seaworthy vessel, wholesome and nutritious food, habitable conditions, or general safety, or whatever.
So,
like that's in the fine print. It's like, so because that was because of that,
right?
They these people couldn't really. So they all got, of course, they got their money back. They got a $500 voucher each. One free additional Carnival cruise.
Oh, can't wait to get back.
I know. And I think that was it. And the people that tried to take them to court, it didn't work because they had that was written in the contract of the ticket, but they that's not in there anymore. They at least they were forced to take that shit out of their ticket contract or whatever. But
essentially, because of the fine print, you could buy a Carnival ticket and you could get there and they could just put you on a paddle boat with some beef jerky and be like, have a good one.
I guess so, yeah.
This reminds me of, and I might be getting a little bit of it wrong, but did you see, this is a couple years back, but not too long because Disney Plus hadn't been around that long, where someone, I think, died at Disney World, due to something malfunctioning, and they tried.
You're not talking about that kid that got ate, are you?
Was it the kid that got ate?
You remember that kid got ate, right?
Maybe that was this, but when they tried to sue them, they couldn't because they were Disney Plus members and the licensing agreement covered the parks or something.
I don't know. Katie's probably screaming at us through her headphones right now because she knows all things Disney related. But I do remember both of those things. I don't know if that was the same thing or two separate incidents or not. But yeah, I know that kid got ate at Disney World by them alligators, whatever, which don't hit. And then
can't blame alligators though.
I do remember what you're talking about. No, they're just doing alligator shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't even know if it was the same thing, but something horrible happened where Disney absolutely should have paid up, but they were like, I don't know what to tell you, but your Disney Plus thing covers this too. And obviously you should read the fine print, but come on.
No, I don't believe that. No, I think that
there should be things that are reasonable that just have to be.
I agree. Like the whole element of fine print and shit and everything is you just have to have a reasonable expectation of
human decency.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I think it should work. It's just we all them end user license agreements and stuff. We all know nobody reads them fucking things. No one. That maybe lawyers do. Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's I don't know.
I'm honestly, I'm going to pivot on what I was going to do because I have another thing that this also is dog, this right here is a defense attorney's wet dream. I don't know if you saw
wait. We should probably take one more break.
Right.
I think.
Let's take one more break.
Then do it.
And then I'll tell you about the thing that's going to make lawyers come.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew's offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. I'm going to be saying you're going to be porking your neighbor. Not necessarily. I'm just saying you'll end up having to move with all the noise you're going to be making with your old lady or your old man or whatever, knocking boots, pissing the neighbor off because they ain't getting none. You know how neighbors are. Anyway, Blue Chew Max has arrived, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable tablet for a combo that acts fast and lasts long, baby. The ultimate combination. Guys, be ready when she needs it. Get your first month at Blue Chew for free. Great sex is just a few clicks away. You just sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the U.S., surveyed, prepared, and shipped directly to your door. That's the best part of the whole thing. It's done entirely on the internet, which means no more visits to the doctor's office, having awkward wiener-based conversations with them, waiting in line for your wiener pills at the pharmacy, seeing your old guidance counselor. You ain't got to worry about none of that with Blue Chew. And Blue Chew, let me tell you something in case you are wondering, more horsepower. All right. Enough said. It's not just, I I don't know what I'm like allowed to say legally here, but it's like sometimes on Blue Chew, you're just like, whose dick is this? God damn. It's like, I didn't know you've been there the whole time. Where's this been? It's pretty wild. I mean, I'm just telling you, it will up your game. It's pretty incredible. Bit of a miracle, if I do say so myself. A wiener miracle. So make your life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew for free when you use the promo code POA. You just pay $5 shipping. That's it. Promo code POA. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. As always, get you a new dick. All right, we're back, everybody. Any of our lawyer friends listening, get it out, get to whooping it, I guess. Start fluffing yourself, clicking the mouse, whatever the case may be, because the show's got something that's truly jizz-worthy for all lawyers, apparently. Is that a gallon of apple juice?
Sure is. I wanted to get another Diet Coke, but she's out, and this was the only thing in there. And like, dude, when I need a cold drink, I need a cold drink. Okay. So you're familiar with the brand of energy drinks, Celsius?
Oh, Katie literally told me yesterday about this. Yes. Dude. Yeah, no, Celsius. I always wonder how, because that's another one of those things that felt like it came completely out of nowhere to me. I agree. And then was all of a sudden all over the place. It's like every white woman like Katie finds out about some things at the same time, because it's like, I'd never heard of Celsius, and all of a sudden it's like that's all she's drinking for a little while. And then I start seeing it every damn where.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you even, that market especially, how do you fucking penetrate that?
My theory is that it has to be, and I don't know who it is, but it has to be like a person like Ryan Reynolds would have to be the person who, like, you couldn't just be me and you and go, we made this drink and it's called Celsius. Like, they already had a ton of financial seeding and they were able to put it into marketing or whatever. Because like you said, it'd be one thing if you like change the genre, but it's just another energy drink.
Right.
Like it's just called Celsius. And like me, I'm not like a loyalist to like anything. Like I just, usually when I want an energy drink, I know how many milligrams of caffeine each one of them has. And depending on how early, and like if it's early in the morning, I'm like, I want the one with 300 milligrams. If it's like 12 or 2, I usually go with a Red Bull, because dude, Red Bulls really don't have hardly no caffeine in them compared to what the rest of them do. Like Red Bull only have
they have all the different sizes of Red Bull.
They do have all the different sizes, but I just want it to be sugar free. If I can, me too.
Sugar free, whatever is fine with me.
I have to have sugar free, and frankly, dude, if you don't get sugar free, you're just doing extra for nothing, because they don't taste no different. like the sugar.
No, but dude, it's those people that can just drink and eat whatever the hell they want and just stay the same. And also the ones that are big old fat fucks that just don't give a shit.
Right. But I'm just saying,
those two people keep like full sugared things going strong, I think.
If they taste insanely different, then I would understand, but they don't. There's so many times I'll be drinking an energy drink and I'll have to check to make sure that I got the zero sugar one, because it tastes like it got sugar in it, you know?
Right.
Well, I'm super glad that I'm not like loyalist to Celsius, because, you know, today, actually, I'm 6 weeks sober today, which is insane. Mm-hmm. Definitely about to break. Apparently, I assume Celsius and the cocktail maker High Noon, I guess these are made in the same factory.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Are they owned by the same people? Or?
That I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole, like, certain things, like, you know, sometimes, like Dr. Pepper's not owned by anybody, but in some places they are bottled by Coke, and in some places they're bottled by Pepsi, because Dr. Pepper doesn't have that. They're just like, well, we'll just outsource that part so we don't have a building. So I don't know if it's a situation where like one of them is paying the other one rent to like, here, y'all just do our shit. But yeah, they put a bunch of High Noon alcohol into Celsius energy drinks. And the reason I say it's a lawyer's dream is because, number one, anybody that gets a DUI within the next 2 weeks before these recalls are done, he had a Celsius. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to completely walk on that, but dude, my lawyer got me out of a DUI. Y'all, I was 16 and I was on private property. I wasn't driving on the roads, but he got me out of the DUI because they gave me the breathalyzer a long time after the wreck. And he just said, just tell them you drank after the wreck. They can't prove that you didn't. And in this case, I mean, I guess they can't prove that you didn't just buy a Celsius thinking you were getting an energy drink and you got alcohol. But another thing, dude, aside from this being a lawyer's wet dream, the nightmare, and I like this is a comedy show, obviously, but like this really has like upset me for some people. Like, imagine you're a sober person and you got 40 years. You know what I mean? You got 40 years sober and you fucking go get a Celsius and you realize that it's booze. Like, even if you don't relapse, the moral trauma that is going on in your head, like, this is a fucking huge deal. And I don't think people realize that.
So, based on what Katie did tell me yesterday, basically what you just told me, and I was like, yeah, that is fucked. You're right about that. I would like to think that I would, if you were a 40 years sober person and you went and bought an energy drink and it had booze in it, I'm sure that would definitely fuck you up. But I'd like to think you could be like, well,
right.
But I didn't make that decision.
That's true. But sometimes one drink is enough to make you have to have a second.
Yeah, I know. But, again, you'd like to think that after 40 years, sure, they could just be like, oh, these motherfuckers and go on. The other thing is, if I'm reading this right, and I read this straight off of the FDA's website, but also USA Today and a couple other sources too, which all seem to be sourcing it from the FDA's website. If I'm reading it right, what they specifically did is that they being High Noon, they put some of their High Noon seltzers in Celsius cans by accident, but those cans were packaged in 12 packs that were labeled as High Noon seltzers. So it was 12 High Noon's Beach Variety 12 pack. So a box of cans of seltzers that when you open the box up, you pull out a Celsius, but inside that Celsius is actually High Noon.
Okay, well, that's way different.
Yeah, right. So it's like, if I'm reading this right, no one should have ever bought one of these thinking they were just getting a Celsius and it was a High Noon. They bought a 12-pack of High Noon and were like, what the fuck? My beer's got goddamn energy drinks in it. But then, hell, actually it is beer. So it feels really like it should be mostly fine.
Are you telling me that I just read the headline and was wrong?
Well, I mean, apparently, again, Katie told me yesterday about this happening. She was like, did you hear about it? And she described it the exact same way you described it. So that's probably the way it's just being presented by most people or on the internet and stuff like that. Because that's how stuff be working.
It could still fuck you up the way I said it did at a country gas station, because I don't know if people that live on places that have clean roads know this, but country gas stations will often buy, they buy 12 packs and then open them up and turn them into 6 packs because they get the 12 pack for cheaper. And there's plenty of, they do that with High Noons around here too, that they would buy the High Noon 12 pack, open it, then they'd see the Celsius and then they'd be like, fuck. And they just put the Celsius on the shelf. So it still could happen, but I was still wrong. The company also has issued a recall though for all of the, that specific flavor of Celsius, which is sparkling blue Raz, is the affected. But it says that, again, based on I'm reading this, they recalled those two just out of like an abundance of caution. It says that just to make, as far as they know, the mistake is limited to 12 packs of High Noon, but they are also recalling the single cans of that Celsius too, just in case. So maybe they actually know that some of those do have booze in it and nobody's figured it out yet or whatever, and they're trying to get ahead of it or something. I don't know, but yeah. I got a good one for you here. So I follow this account on Twitter. I want to make sure to shout them out. It's called The Depths of Wikipedia. I'm sure there's like a subreddit for it too, where basically like every day they just post some random insane thing from the depths of Wikipedia. And I took a couple. Go follow them, Depths of Wikipedia. Giving them, I want to give them credit, even though it's like this is just on Wikipedia. They don't own it, but whatever. This one really hit for me. So this is in the Wikipedia for chicken or the egg, right? Under disputations, on the 24th of July, 2024, two men began a chicken or egg debate at a party with alcohol in Indonesia. One man became so emotionally enraged that he left and returned with a knife, stabbing the other guy 15 times and killing him. It is uncertain what side of the argument, chicken or egg, the killer took.
What? How is that uncertain? Did they not capture that guy? What, did he not want to admit it? Like, was he just like, that's not the point? It's like, feels like that should be the point. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a good example. You know, I mean, we did that on here with the squirrel stuff. I think it's like, now look, when someone gets stabbed to death at the end of the day, like that, obviously chance taking it a little bit too far. But people like that type of shit. Like, again, without the stabbing, where it's like where people get like super fired up about like, you know, low stakes arguments.
I'm
like
the
us
king
with
of that.
I know, yeah, us with the squirrels, and it's like, but also, I'm sure you've seen the Wicked Witch of the East one. Have you seen that one?
No.
It kind of involves stabbing, sort of at the very end, but there's no actual stabbing. If you haven't seen this, I'm glad I've got it pulled up.
Dude, hold on, tell me.
Well, I'll just show it to you now because it hits. It's funny.
Yeah.
So even if, again, I'm sure you have seen it because this one was like hugely fucking viral. Like Jimmy Fallon did a version of it and all that stuff. So it was like, it was all over the place. But yeah, I can certainly relate to both of these dudes at different moments. But all right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hold on. This is my family. Hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess. A wicked witch of the East, bro.
Dude.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? It's my favorite. She wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, dog. Grow up, bro.
Dude, reminds me of you so much. The fucking am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong though?
Well, here's what's funny. I realize now that I have seen this, and it was because Amber and Kirby both individually sent it to our group text and said, Jesus fucking Christ, if this ain't Corey.
Yeah.
And
you know what? And not for nothing. Apparently, it's been like since universally agreed upon that also he is wrong. By the way, that's what, like, he's objectively wrong. It's what I heard and read. I tried to confirm it with Katie because I don't even know. I don't even understand what the fuck he's talking. But he's talking about somebody from the Wizard of Oz being a wit or a wit. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of the Oz heads and the comments and stuff have been like, it's even funnier knowing that he actually is wrong the whole time.
It's also proof that if you clearly explain yourself and are passionate, people, because I don't know anything about, I've seen the Wizard of Oz like when I was a kid. I don't know shit about, I've never read, I started to
the other thing is you don't see, that cuts in after the argument's already started, so we don't have the full context, but I guess people have found out later they were playing that, that game of like Heads Up or whatever, where you got like, or that game from Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the clue was. It was something like that, and the guy gave the clue witch or whatever, and the other dude didn't get it, so he got mad, and then when he told him what it was, the guy was like, she's not a witch, and then that, or something like that, and that kicked off that whole
That's even more me then, because I can't tell you how many family game nights I've ruined, because usually what it will be is like we'll be playing charades or something, and like I'm real good, like not just at getting it, but like you would be good at it too, I'm sure. We're both good storytellers and we understand how details and stuff work. And I remember that, man, there was an instance one night, and this was an old girlfriend, And I've never been so goddamn mad in my life. I remember what it was. I was explaining this whole thing and I'm fucking nailing it. And I can tell everybody in the room knows exactly what I'm doing except for the person that I need to get this information out of. And then when the buzzer hits and it was like I'm like, fuck, and everybody then calls out like it was this. And she's like, and instead of just being like, oh, right. She's like, well, how was I supposed to get that from this? And then started acting like me and 8 people were wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, bro, like I was about to lose my goddamn mind. So I feel for that dude. Here's another one. Do you
remember what the clue was or the answer or whatever? No, okay.
I don't, because there've been honestly too many incidents of it since. Yeah. It just wasn't with a girlfriend. Like it'll be with like, dude, me and Amber's not bad. Like, me and Amber are actually really good teammates, but and I don't care if they listen to the show, every single one of Amber's friends, dumber than the last. Every single one of them. I'm talking, how the fuck do you get to work, stupid? Like, just the dumbest people that have ever lived. Sometimes, and Amber will be telling me something they did that they're all way proud of. And I'm like, that's still stupid. And you're proud of that stupid shit that you did, you fucking idiot. And now I got some dumb friends too, but they hit at games. And we
sure.
They would want to, and one night they were like, we want to play Taboo or whatever. And I was like, I'm not playing. They're like, oh, Corey, you ruin everything. You don't want to have no fun. And I'm like, I promise you that I'm allowing y'all to have fun by me sitting this out. You don't know what ruining it is. Ruining it will be if I play. And they keep badgering me. And then I have to go on this like fucking dissertation about how y'all are so goddamn stupid. You don't know how to play the fucking game. This is a game of wits, and none of y'all have 2 to rub together between each other, and yada yada. Kirby's friends are smart though. Anyways, here's another good one, and this is very related to the show. This is about a lady named Mrs. Pack, who was a lady from the 17th century. All right, here's an excerpt. Prince George passed by her, Mrs. Pack, because her breasts, which were gigantic. He ordered Miss Pack to go into his son and to feed him. She did so, and whether because of that or for some other reason, the baby recovered. I guess this baby was about to die. With the life of the second in line to the throne apparently depending on Miss Pack and her milk, she had immense power in the royal household. Orders were given that she was not to be contradicted. Already a heavy woman, she then devoted herself entirely to food and drink. So this woman, right place, right time. This woman was just standing there, big titties, and the prince was like, get in here and let my baby who is sick suck your titties. And then he did, and he lived. And then she basically just had a condo at the palace. The rest
she got to become the royal big titty haver after that.
The royal big titty haver, yeah. Yeah.
Like, had servants having to bring her, like, pastries and treats and stuff to her room. See unto the royal titty haver, please. Like, they have to, like, she wasn't like, did she then remain a nursemaid or whatever? You know what I mean? Or was she just, it was just her job just to have big titties?
That I don't know. I didn't investigate any further aside from the excerpt, but like, I would like to think that it was just I owe you my life because you saved my child. Therefore, you just get the hit. But I would assume, though, that if that baby got hungry again, why not let her? I'm sure that hit for the queen.
Absolutely, yeah. Saving babies hits for most people, except for godless liberals. But anyway, you're talking about dumb. How do you even get to work every day, dumb?
It's such a specific type of dumb.
I sent you and Burns a clip yesterday that at the time I was like, I don't know if I'll show this on the show because I've been kind of wearing this out lately. But since you said that, I'm going to show it because it's like the ongoing series of proof that Brits are also incredibly stupid sometimes.
No, wear it out.
Now, with these people in particular, they are still considered Brits by the rest of the world. That probably don't hit for them because apparently they are Welsh.
Oh, yeah, they really don't hit for them.
Right. And further, I think, sorry if I've got this wrong, but to a lot of people in the other parts of the UK, I don't think they would be overly surprised that the Welsh aren't all that sharp,
like,
is what I'm saying. I think
speaking of that,
I'm not saying Welsh people are stupid. I'm saying I think the stereotype is similar to that of like Southerners over here.
They're the Southerns of the dude. Not only before you show the clip, like I know, like it doesn't hit for Welsh people at all, but like this has actually been back in the mainstream a little bit because the Open Championship, formerly the British Open, was held this past week. Scotty Scheffler won, and it's been in my lifetime that they started calling it the Open instead of the British Open. And like I'll admit that when I'm talking to people that don't really know much about golf, I will say the British Open because that explains it's the one over there. And to me, like it is the British Open, but the reason that they don't call it that anymore is rightfully so. It's held in Scotland a lot. Like actually most all of the time it's held in Scotland, and that don't hit for them for it to be the British Open or whatever.
Right. The thing about that to me, and I'm, not to American-splain anything to anybody because what the fuck do we know over here? But it's like, I totally get the Scots and the Welsh being like, fuck the English. We don't want to be associated with them, because they fucking conquered us forever ago and they're assholes about it or whatever. Like, I get that. But my understanding of how that all, like that whole, the etymology of all that and everything, the way those words work, is that, on that island, there's England, Scotland, and Wales.
Right.
And English people are from England. You would never call a Scotsman English.
Of course.
You would never call a Welshman English. English people are from England. But that island is called Great Britain.
Right.
Right. So anyone from that island is technically British.
Right.
But not English. But the rest of the world, when you say British or you say Brits, they think of English. So Scottish people are like, fuck that, we're Scottish. We don't want to be called British because we ain't them. But what that word is supposed to mean is any one of those three peoples, just because that's that island. But again, I know that they know all that and they still don't give a fuck and don't want to be called British. So I respect it. But yeah, I mean, me too, always.
Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So these are Welsh people specifically, but I'm still counting it.
Yeah.
And this is, well, I was going to say this is the most egregious example yet, but I don't know, man. Think about those clips I've showed before. It was like, well, we still have weather or whatever. It's like fucking, I don't know that I could say this is dumber.
What was the quote on that?
No, she said, well, we still have trees. Well, we still have trees. It's like, no, love, that's weather. They were talking about fucking Brexit or whatever. Brexit was going to make them lose their trees. And then the other girl was like, no, that's the weather. Anyway.
It's neither.
Anyway, right. But anyway, so I don't know that this is dumber, but this is pretty wild. For people that are only listening, this Welsh couple is playing a bar game, like a little trivia game at a bar. Anytime you get an answer right, you move a piece out of the way, you're working your way to a shot. You don't need to see them to be able to get it for sure, but here it goes.
What food did Goldilocks eat?
Porridge.
Name a chess piece that moves one square at a time.
Queen.
No.
King.
Queen.
How many legs does an ant have?
9, 10, 12, 8, 6.
6. What color is the sun?
Yellow.
No.
Orange.
No.
White.
What's the 12th letter of the alphabet?
A. L.
The winner takes it all?
Abba.
Yes. Rome is the capital of which country?
Italy.
Sorry, love you.
How many valves does the heart have?
12, 18, 6,
How many valves does the heart have?
2,
No.
19,
No.
4.
Who was the 16th U.S. president?
Lincoln.
U.S. president. Famous
Nelson
one.
Mandela.
No, U.S. president.
What's him?
Maybe they.
Albert Einstein.
No, U.S. president.
Oh my God, lady.
Anthony.
Abraham Lincoln.
Well done. What's 3 times 6?
26,
No.
24,
3 6s?
36,
No. 3 6s?
28,
No.
6, 27, 24.
13.
28.
Two sixes are 12. 3 sixes, 18. How many minutes are in a game of rugby?
19.
160.
No, game of rugby.
180.
No,
18.
80. No. Put it down. You're playing for this one now. Okay, you're on the shot. What's the name of the movie about a shark terrorizing a small beach town?
Shark.
Yeah, name a movie with a shark.
Shot.
Well done, take a shot.
Dude.
Dude, the confidence with which she said, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, right. Did some of those, like, saying 9 for any animal's number of legs, like,
Hilarious.
is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we have 5 legs on one side, you know what I mean? To be walking in circles and shit. Like, fucking, like, what? And then the heart valves, he goes 19 and then's like 4. And it was 4 after he'd said 12, 16, 18, 19, like 19 valves in the heart. Like,
I was really hoping that he was going to nail the rugby one, like on the first go. I thought exactly what type of man he was.
When I first watched this, that's what I thought was going to happen too. But and also, what's the name of the movie about a shark that terrorizes a small coast? Shark. Shark. He just says it again. But,
I totally understand if you don't know who, like, it would be insane if they didn't at all know who Abraham Lincoln was. But I understand not knowing that he was the 16th president. But to say both Nelson Mandela and Albert Einstein.
Yeah, right.
I'm probably not the best person to say because I can name like all the kings and queens of England back until whatever. But like, if you asked an American who was the, king during the War of 1812 or whatever, and they didn't know it, that wouldn't be stupid. But if they said Norman Rockefeller, that would be stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That is crazy.
Was it still George? Do you know?
In 1812.
Was it still George, or was there anybody between George and Victoria? Because if there was, it'd be that person, right? But otherwise, it's one of them two.
I think it was George. I could be. I just said I knew all of. I don't, but like I would know who wasn't. You know what I mean? Like if you named a random person, but that motherfucker wasn't ever king.
But how do those people? They got like jobs and stuff. They make money. They live their life. They go out to bars. They walk around in the world. How are they not bumping into trees and shit all the time? Like literally. I just don't. I see people like that sometimes, and I'm like, how are you not cared for? Right.
No,
what?
Now that I'm on the outside looking in, maybe to defend Amber's friends a little bit, maybe it's the just being put on the spot of it all that causes them to get so nervous that they can't answer. But like, I don't know, dog. Like they was saying some wild shit. I don't care how many nerves you got. Nelson Mandela ain't never even been close to the president of the United States.
It took him like 15 guesses to get 3 times 6.
And I'm not good at math, but like I can do, But the funny thing is like it's not. They didn't even try to work it out. They just started saying shit,
saying numbers. I know.
Like, one of these is going to be it. And several of the things they said were odd numbers. A ton of them were odd numbers. Like, even my dumb ass knows that 3 even numbers ain't giving you a fucking odd number. Much like, I bet, it wouldn't surprise me, though, considering his work with the platypus, if God did give some poor, unfortunate animal 9 legs, Yeah,
it had to be like a sea creature that's circular or something.
Yeah. It wouldn't,
because we'd be having bilateral symmetry and stuff in this world. There's 2 kinds. There's bilateral symmetry, and then there's the one where you can be a circle, which I forget what that's called, or generally circular. I can't remember what that's called. Yeah, the type of symmetry that you have.
Blob that God forgot about. Is that a type?
Bilateral and what symmetry? It's like like a starfish bee.
Yeah.
Yep, I don't know. Symmetry and they're biradial.
Starfish, they got 5 legs.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying for anything to have 9 legs, it would have to be that type of. It's called radial.
Octopus.
That's called radial symmetry.
yeah, like
they would have to be
octopus.
radially symmetrical in order to
Right.
have 9 legs.
How many you
Anything that
reckon
has
octopus-
bilateral
octopus
symmetry
has
is going to
8?
have.
Duh.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Duh. That's
so
why
where
it's
the
called
octo
octopus.
comes from. Yes,
But a
but anything
squid,
with
though-
bilateral symmetry is going to have an even number of legs.
But a squid,
unless
though,
something happened to them.
you don't know what a squid's got going on.
I have no idea what a squid's got going on.
You know, 'cause, like, octopus,
could be
they put it in
9,
the
could
name,
be
but, like-
15. Yeah.
Who knows? Well, you want to do some airmail?
Yeah.
All right. This is from long time since we've heard from her on this show. I hear from her all the fucking time. Kim Casado. Just kidding, Kim. Dr. Poop.
Medicine woman.
Yeah, Dr. Poop. Yeah, man, she'd have been hell on that cruise. Subject line, sorry, Trae. I think I love Corey more. Good morrow, gentlemen. For years, I've been thinking that the universe put a clone of my brain in Trae's head, but now I know that the clone is in Corey's. Very sorry to hear that for you. Trae and I are twins, but Corey and I are the same person. Congrats, Corey. You are a gastroenterologist, however you say the shit that she does. As a kid, it was an almost daily occurrence at the dinner table as the discussion amongst my family members would move along. My brain would grab a tidbit and run away with it for the next 5 minutes. I think my train of thought was a maglev, M-A-G-L-E-V, maglev. You know what that is?
Okay.
You don't know what that is either?
No, not yet. Does it end there? My train of thought was a maglev.
That was a parenthetical, and that's the end of the parenthetical. I'm just glad that you don't know what it is.
I think my train of thought was a maglev. It must be some kind of train, right? Does that mean I don't know, one of those I don't be knowing trains. I'm not autistic. I'm sorry. I'm neither German nor autistic. I don't know shit about trains.
German autistic would be hell. And then I would spurt out a question that had absolutely nothing to do with how the live conversation had progressed. My parents and sisters would look at me like I was a two-headed alien speaking in tones and clicks, wondering how the hell I had come up with the question, where in my mind it was a normal thought progression that everyone should have followed. God, that is so me. Ultimately, my parents realized they would never be able to answer all my questions, so they bought me the book Tell Me Why, and I wore that bitch out. Here is Tell Me Why by Arkady Liacum. This book right here. My inquisitive brain is also why I never believed in God. At age 6, I remember asking my father why God did all the cool stuff 2,000 years ago and where has he been lately. Great question, by the way. Phenomenal question for a 6-year-old to ask. He then told me, Tell Me Why book, of course, had no answers for me. Some brains are just too evolved to buy all that religious gobbledygook. Don't care what those blue zone folks say, but going to church every week ain't going to make you live longer. It's actually just the Mediterranean diet, red wine, exercise, and genetics. Love y'all. Poop.
Yeah, so a maglev is, I almost said that, like, just from context clues, I did not know that was the name of it, but when contextually, I was almost said, is it one of those trains that, like, works on magnetism, it floats and stuff? But then I stopped myself because I was like, wait, are those real?
I think that was from, like, Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah, right. I was like, do they have, this country very train dumb, so.
Yeah.
But I was like, the reason I didn't say it because I was like, are those real things? But it says, maglev, short for magnetic levitation, refers to a transportation system where vehicles are propelled, suspended above a track using magnetic forces, eliminating friction and potentially achieving very high speeds. These trains don't use wheels and axles. They utilize powerful magnets to both lift and propel the train along a guideway. So I'll be damned. It's got to be some Japanese shit, right?
Absolutely.
The first train speed record was set by the experimental Japanese L0 series maglev in 2015.
Hell yeah. How fast did it go?
375 miles an hour.
God damn. Hey, that's exactly how fast the bus from Speed would have had to have been going to clear that space.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I saw a comedian do a bit on it today. And
I believe you fully.
Yeah.
It's like I just rewatched Speed, showed it to the boys recently.
Fire.
I mean, dude, movie's awesome. It's great. Such a good
Dennis
time.
Hopper, the craziest motherfucker to ever live.
Yeah, he's wild. Well, no, Corey, he's eccentric, right?
That's right.
He's rich. Yeah, that's the movie that line is from. But he's but yeah, that part of that, they could have, man. They
Yeah, I
could have
don't
tried
wanna
a
go Neil deGrasse
little
Tyson.
harder
Yeah.
to make it somewhat plot, like make it more of a ramp, make the other side of the gap a little like 20 feet down or
Yeah.
something. Like do something
Yeah.
that makes it remotely feasible that bus could do that. But
Yeah.
they just said, fuck it.
No, because like I don't.
But I love that movie though.
No, me too. And like I just said I don't want to go all Neil deGrasse Tyson because I hate it when he does that shit. But it's more egregious because he does it regarding comic book stuff where the laws of reality don't matter. But in Speed, the laws of reality absolutely matter up until that point. Like it's a grounded movie. It takes place in LA. Like even as a kid, I was like, I don't know about that because I'd seen the Duke Boys. You know, and even they couldn't pull that stunt off.
Well, even I mean, fundamentally, the very central premise of Speed is kind of ridiculous because the idea that any bus could drive around this city, maintaining 50 miles an hour the whole time on a regular weekday is insane.
It's
that
crazy.
movie needed to be set in like Des Moines or somewhere like that.
Right.
But anyway.
Subject line, Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, and the history of the U.S. space program. Hey, Corey and Trae, you referenced Jack Parsons in relation to L. Ron Hubbard. Parsons was a key figure in the development of the U.S. space program while being heavily involved with the occult from Aleister Crowley. Absolutely wild stuff. That would be an amazing future episode. Peace and love. Please don't speak my last name on air as it might be offensive since it refers to genitalia. Okay, Kevin with a last name that sounds like dicks.
Kevin Wieners?
Yeah, Kevin Wieners. First time, long time. And lastly, subject line.
Kevin, if that's your actual name, I apologize. I didn't know what it was. I just
subject line.
Just figured it wasn't Kevin Cock and Balls or nothing. Yeah.
The caucasity of Ozzy. Dear Trae and Corey, the last episode inspired me to put on War Pigs. You're welcome. And I can safely say I was today years old when I realized that Ozzy had the audacity to rhyme the word masses with the word masses in the very first two lines of that song. And yet it still hits. Mm-hmm. Love y'all like chicken. Senior New England correspondent, Travis. It does hit. My personal favorite Sabbath song, maybe I'm a simple bitch, is Paranoid. But they all go. War Pigs rules. And I was going to say, I forgot we just did a whole episode on Ozzy. I was like, oh, we haven't been together since Ozzy died. But, well, as always, rest in peace, Ozzy. And also, Michael Caine, as you know, stand an invitation to come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to be?
Oh, next weekend I'll be Indianapolis, Indiana. Then after that, Austin, Texas. Then St. Louis, Missouri, and then a bunch of other places after that, including most of the Ohio cities, upstate New York, Connecticut again, all over Virginia. So a bunch of places. Go to TraeCrowder.com and come see me, please.
Hey, I'm going to be in Virginia here in a couple weeks. August 14th, I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky. And then August 15th, I'll be in Charlottesville, Virginia at the Southern. Come see me. As I've said, if both of those shows sell out, I will be getting a tattoo of Robert E. Lee sucking off Colonel Sanders. Some people have told me that it needs to go the other way. I don't think so. I don't care. I want Colonel Sanders to be the most prominently featured, you know. And also, I think of those two men, I would prefer Colonel Sanders to be on the receiving end.
Yeah,
he hits harder than Robert E. Lee.
That's not even a question, dude. It has
thank
to be,
you. And
it has to be that order.
Thank you. I've argued with so many people about this. I was like, first off, I'm an artist and you're not, so I think I know the vision. What was I going to say? So that if those shows sell out, then I'll do that. So get those tickets at CoreyRyanForrester.com. More importantly, if they don't sell out, I will end my own life. So please get those tickets and check out my latest podcast over at WeLoveCorey.com. It is public domain Sleepy Time Theater, where I read you a bedtime story. This first season, we're doing The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain, and we are all the way up to chapter 30. So you can go on there. You can support me. You can listen to the stories, and also you get a vote on what the next story is, and also read my stuff in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Thank you all. Love you all. Stay fancy, motherfuckers.
Skew.
Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs.